Hey, this is Matt once again. What about another video? There's another paid request, this time from Walker. Thank you so much for that. And for those interesting requests in any type of videos, topics, reactions, commentaries, what have you, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal, which is usually the best bet, or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. Now, Walker wanted me to react to two Cody Leach videos. And before I react to it, one is top 50 horror movies of all time in his opinion. I will say this with Cody Leach. I mean, whatever I say about him, in all truthfulness, he's not too bad. He's not too bad. I just see why people like him. With every list, you're not going to agree with what someone says, but I definitely say I like him a bit more than Jeremy Jahns, Chris Stutman. Nothing really does Jeremy Jahns. Chris Stutman I've never been a fan of. But Cody Leach at least has some personality and some. Seems like he's a guy to relate to more than some of the other folks out there. So, and I'm not going to show the video because number one, I don't want to be taking his video like I'm taking it for my own pleasure, whatever. Number two, because I don't trust YouTube. So I'll put the link to this guy's video down below if you want to follow along. I'm at the beginning. 3, 2, 1. Pressing play. Thank you once again, Walker. I know there's this and another video he wanted me to react to. We got Cody Leach, his Evil Dead type avatar. You know what Cody Leach kind of reminds me of in a good way? Danny McBride. He reminds me a bit of Danny McBride. Which is not a bad thing because I like Danny McBride. I do like the t-shirt, the Child's Play 2 t-shirt. So, I do like the choice of shirt. Brian Lomax, okay, cool. He's doing he's doing a list as well as this. Also, I like the Punisher hat. If I did a top 50 list, it'd be tremendously different from others. As he puts it, this is my list, it's my personal favorites, are special to me. So just about a lot of them he's done full reviews, so he's not going deep on them, which is understandable. Cool. It pretty much is that will be in depth. Some of them going by quick because he's already talked about them before. Cool. Nice to see the 1990 It. Really enjoy that. I liked it more than the newer one. I like the cast. I like the kids and the adult actors. Richard Thomas and John Ritter, and Tim Curry does a great job as Pennywise. I think I did see Stephen King's It when I was a kid, when it premiered on ABC. It was a very creepy film. Jonathan Brandis there, may rest in peace. As the one of the kids on the left there. I don't know what he's talking about, how Tim Curry's performance hasn't aged well. It's quite the opposite. So I don't understand what he means by that. I don't get why people don't like it. I disagree. I don't get it at all. Session 9, great choice. That might be on my list of top 50. Very creepy, very atmospheric. Dave Caruso does a nice job in it. Really enjoy Session 9. Very solid choice to be on the list. Silver Bullet, another good choice. Rest in peace, Corey Haim. One of my favorite werewolf films. Like Gary Busey. The effects are not the best, but still a very fun werewolf film. Friday 30 Part 4. One of the better sequels. Todd Savini effects. Disagree. Not a fan of the new It. I think if you put an S and H in front of it, it would fit better. I do like the original Scream. I do like that. See, it's hard for me to do stuff like this because YouTube will get pissed at me when I do stuff like this. Final Destination 2, my favorite. I think I saw it in the theater when it came out. Yeah, that opening was crazy. Oh, Idle Hands. That's an interesting choice. Fun horror comedy. It's a little bit Evil Dead 2 type humor. Devon Sawa did a nice job. Remember, the guy's hand gets possessed and starts doing what he doesn't want to do. Ooh, the 2009 Friday 13th. Interesting to put that on the list. Because so many people trash it, but I like the 2009 Friday 13th. I know I did see that in the theater. Sleepaway Camp. I mean, Sleepaway Camp, it's there. I don't love it. I don't hate Sleepaway Camp. I don't mind it. I do think it's a film, though, that without the ending, it would not be remembered. I really do. I think if it did not have that ending, it would be a film that would be, have a cult. It'd be following like Baby Slaughterhouse or some of these other lower end slasher films. And yeah, I think the ending is what pushes it into a cult status. I just something about Sleepaway Camp. Just I never fell in love with it. I actually prefer Sleepaway Camp 2 and 3 more. Halloween 3, good choice. I do like Halloween 3. Always enjoyed it ever since I saw it back in the day. Very nasty effects there. Tom Atkins did a nice job. Trick or Treat, one of the better anthology films. I like most all the stories. Love The Hitcher. For me, it'd probably be in the at least top 10, top 15 with Rutger Hauer. Absolutely classic. Great to see it on the list. Very cool. Wonderful. I want you to stop me. Rutger Hauer and C. Thomas Howell worked so well together. Trick or Treat, the 80s one. I just saw this recently and I enjoyed it. Wouldn't be in my top 50, but I thought it was fun. I thought the soundtrack was entertaining. I liked the lead guy. The lead guy was a Mark Price. Small appearance, small supporting roles with Gene Simmons and Ozzy Osbourne. Yeah, the concept is fun. I do wish the ending was a bit either bigger or bloodier. The girlfriend kind of pops out of nowhere, and the fact that she's established, then is only in it for like 2 more scenes, and then it's not supposed to be his girlfriend yet, but like this gonna become his girlfriend. But it's like she wasn't really developed much. Yeah, the soundtrack. It's a fun film. Definitely better than some of those other heavy metal horrors back in the day. Rock and roll, save your soul. Who knows if one day they'll get a Blu-ray? I mean, the Blu-ray overseas, the sound is very bad, so... Which, considering the soundtrack is one of the best parts of it, is not good at all. It's like crappy mono, so still need a better Blu-ray. Ooh, The First Collector. For me, I enjoy both of them, but cool to see that on the list. Psycho 2, my favorite of the franchise. There's Dennis Franz, getting it. Descent's a good one. Probably wouldn't be in my top 50, but that's very claustrophobic. It has some good effects. That's when Neil Marshall was worth his spit as a director. I mean, I prefer Dog Soldiers. And I'm Not the Man is one of my favorite John Carpenter films. I remember seeing this on VHS back in the day and being impressed. A lot of crazy ideas in it. Candyman. Again, not in my top 50, but understandable. Tony Todd is magnificent. He's just enriching and empowering in his role as Candyman. Be my victim. There you go. A lot better than the remake. Ooh, Blade 2. Nice. Very nice. My favorite Blade film. Kick-ass movie. I mean, it is horror, I guess. I always think it was more of an action movie. But yeah, it's horror. I mean, vampires, all that stuff. Love Blade 2. Kick-ass film. Oh, okay. I mean, I like Halloween. I wouldn't put it number one. It's not in my top 10. I like John Carpenter's Halloween. I don't know if it'd be in my top 50, but I do like it. With John Carpenter films, I'd probably say to make the list, The Thing is number one, and then Big Trouble in Little China is number two. Then either Assault on Precinct 13 or Escape from New York is 3 and 4. Maybe Assault on Precinct 13 3, Escape from New York 4. And About the Madness, I put 5. I would say I like The Fog a bit more than how... Like, I like Halloween. I would say I like Halloween 2 more. But I would say I like even The Fog a bit more than Halloween. But yeah, it's a good movie. 30's not a bad... Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, it has some really nice camera work. Donald Pleasance does a wonderful job. So does Jamie Lee Curtis. Michael Myers is a iconic look. The music, of course, is stellar. I know Sam Savini complained about that scene because he's like, how could the knife stay in the guy's chest and be hanging there? His weight would have brought him and the knife down. So yeah, even Tom Savini's not a fan. Uh, I can idea what he means. There's been films I thought I liked it, but I don't love it, and then people hound you on it, and you go, "Well, then fuck the movie." But he didn't say fuck the movie. He still likes it. I get that. I like Child's Play 3. I like Child's Play 3. I'll repeat it again. I like the older Andy Barkley. I think he did a better job than Alex Vincent when he was older in the TV show and later movie. What, Cultichucky? Was it Justin Whalen? I think he did a good job. I think the effects are pretty decent. I like the military base location. I think it has some nice standout moments like the paint, the paint guns, switching it with the bullets. Or like taking the guns and it's like supposed to be paint, but he switches with real bullets. I mean, even that supporting character that you think you're not going to care for, and then he does this self-sacrifice. You go, wow, the movie made me care about this person and felt sorry that he died. I mean, there's a lot of AAA horror that didn't do that, but Child's Play 3 did that. It has a good finale. I like the whole funhouse, even though it's the most dangerous roller coaster in existence. I think Chucky has a good death scene in it. Nice. Defending Child's Play 3. That's really cool. I just see maybe why Walker wants me to watch this. That's very cool. The original Black Christmas, I respect it. I don't love it like other people do. It's okay. The Fly remake, I do love that one. That's a really good one. My favorite David Cronenberg movie. Jeff Goldblum and Gina Davis really worked well together because they were an item at the time. Doctor Sleep, I liked it. Not my top 50. I liked it. It was there. I do have it. It lost a little bit of luster on the second watch, but I do like it. But I don't love it. Evil Dead remake, nah, not a fan. Good gore, that's all I got for it. Not a fan of the actors, not a fan of the characters, not a fan of taking away the creativity away from the Evil Dead franchise. First Omen, was never big on the Omen films. I think like I'm not. I don't know if I hated it, but I do love The Shining. Yes, I love The Shining. This definitely will be on my list somewhere. I love The Shining. Story of Echo's good choice. I mean, it wouldn't be that high on my list, but that's a good choice. Got overshadowed by people talking about The Sixth Sense, but I thought Story of Echoes was actually better. And Sixth Sense, okay, it's not a bad film. It's just, I think it's kind of boring. Although I think Bruce Willis and Haley Joel Osment, they do a good job in it. I just don't think it's scary or creepy. And the story didn't interest me as much as... Like, Story of Echoes, I thought was a more interesting story. Yeah, Tim Bacon does do a good job in it. Really sells that blue-collar character. In the trailer, I like the usage of painted black. Faculty. I don't mind The Faculty. I liked it. It's kind of... Because Scream was a success, so this is kind of their... Scream met Body Snatchers. Yeah, as you mentioned there. Good cast. Josh Hartnett, Robert Patrick, Elijah Wood. It kind of feels a little bit tame, because by the end, not much of anybody dies. Like even Jon Stewart, he gets stabbed in the eye, but then you see him later, he's got an eye patch. So, and really, I don't think any of those kids get killed either. So it felt a little bit tame. I think that's really one of my few issues. It felt a bit tame, as if there wasn't a whole lot of danger. I didn't like most of the teachers are still alive, most of the students still alive. That's why at the end, like people are going about school as if everything's fine, and it just, I it didn't feel like I don't know, is it PG-13? But I still like The Faculty. The cast really sold it. Tetsuya Master 2003. I do like that remake. A lot of people hate it, but I do like it. Near Dark, good cast. Bill Paxton's having a ball. Feet are looking good. There you go. He steals the show. In fact, he's so good, he kind of overshadows the lead guy, Adrian Pastar. Christine, I like Christine. Has a great John Carpenter touch to the music. The car sequences are shot very well. Dolly did the remake. Cool. Definitely one of the better remakes. Saw this in the theater. Ving Rhames is a badass in this. Bride of Chucky. That's a film when I first saw it, I didn't mind it. I liked it. It's hard to rewatch now. It really is. So if anyone asks, like, what's a film you used to like, but now, Bride of Chucky's one of them. I think that's a film that does not hold up for me. It's humor, it's silliness, Jennifer Tilly. Frailty. That's a cool choice. Bill Paxton directs and stars in it. Matthew McConaughey. Very creepy story, and I like the way it ends because there's the usual typical way it would end, and it was kind of cool that they went the very rare, different way. I don't know how to say it without spoiling it, but I think that's a really good idea. I definitely agree with the acting, what he says about it. Oh yeah, Powers Booth is in this as well. Rest in peace, Powers Booth, as well as Bill Paxton. Yeah, I mean, if you haven't seen Frailty, it's definitely worth the watch. Hmm. I can't separate Jeepers Creepers from its artist because the artist put the art into the movie. I mean, he calls the creature the Creeper. The Creeper literally is sniffing the guy's underwear because he wants the guy's body, wants the guy's body parts, wants to eat the guy's body parts. So again, I'm sorry, I can't separate the art from the artist. Plus, even on the film, it has its issues, like the psychic lady that's completely pointless. Didn't need to be in the film. Didn't care for the ending of the film. I don't think it's as masterfully written as he claims it to be. That's just me, though. I mean, I think early on when you see the big pile of bodies and the way, you kind of know a bit of that there's something inhuman about this thing from the get-go. Hmm. People get mad at me. I'm not a big Phantasm guy. I don't hate the film. I respect the film. I prefer Phantasm 2. It's not my favorite franchise though, because there is no ending, and that's I guess the point. But there is no satisfying ending to it. Even after you what 5 movies, it's like a beginning and 85 middles and no ending. I appreciate the dream-like style of the film. The music is pretty good. Angus Strim is very intimidating as the tall man, but it's not a bad film. It's just not a film I love like other people do. That's just me though. Sorry about that with my throat. So he has the Terminator because he says he thinks it's a horror film, he thinks it's a slasher film, and I can see his point. I can see his point, and I mean, I think the first Terminator. I think the first Terminator is the best one. I like Terminator 2, but kind of like how what happened with him with Halloween is what happened with me in Terminator 2. Where I like Terminator 2 Judgment Day, but there's other films I like more. There's other movies I like more. Grew up with more. I grew up T2 as well, to be fair. But kind of like before internet, people go, no, no, you gotta love this, you gotta love this. I was like, but I like this. I like I Come in Peace. I like Hard Target. I like Koba. No, 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 no. But it's like, okay, well, whatever. Brad Fidel does a nice job with the score. Linda Hamilton, Michael Biehn. It turned. I mean, I know Arnold was in Conan the Barbarian. This really turned Arnold into a star. Conan brought him to the dance. Terminator brought him to the full prominence. Cool, Light Misery. That's number 11. Definitely one of the better Stephen King adaptations. Kathy Bates, I think, won an Oscar for this role and richly deserved. James Caan doesn't do too bad either. And Kathy Bates is this type of role where, on one hand, you think she's a fan, she's loving, but she just turns on such a big switch of a dime. Just be insane and crazy and going, what the fuck is going on here? Does a nice job building up the story where this guy's trapped and you're wondering just how is he going to get out of this. You have sort of the fake hope of Richard Farnsworth, and that didn't turn out well for him, so he's got to try to make it out himself. The sledgehammer scene, which in the novel was an axe cutting his legs off, the sledgehammer made it more visceral, more painful. But that's the thing, like, I've tried stuff like this, and YouTube would blot the video immediately or block it after a month of being up. I did my top 10 favorite films of the 90s. Like, horror film. Like, no, I said 10 horror gems from the 90s. And YouTube, like, blocked it and stuff. And it's like... Or it was up for a bit, and then eventually blocked it. I'm like, what the fuck, man? Sometimes I wonder, well, what the hell am I supposed to do? But yeah, we got Silence of the Lambs. I do like the film. I may say I like Manhunter more. But, I mean, Jodie Foster and Anthony Hopkins. Also, what's his name? Oh, come on, I know his name. I don't know why I can't remember his name, damn it. Plays Buffalo Bill. Ted Levine. Like I said, I do like the film. I never found it as scary as other people did. Like I said, I think Jodie Foster did a great job. I think Hannibal would have been... Although I don't mind Julianne Moore, I think Jodie Foster, if she came back, would have been much better for Hannibal as a movie. Like I said, I like Silence of the Lambs. I mean, I don't really know what to say about it. Just one of those films I don't mind. I liked it. Just wouldn't be on my top 50 list. Seven is a good one. I do like Seven. I remember the trailer came out, and the trailer was in front of... I'm trying to remember what movie was in front of Seven. Was it Friday? It might have been Friday. The VHS of Friday, because they're both New Line Cinema. And I had the trailer to Seven. I remember that being one of the better edited trailers. David Fincher really elicited a gloomy mood to it, a nihilistic, like, impending doom of a mood. Morgan Freeman and Brad Pitt did a solid job working together. The opening credits, how unique that was at the time with the... What are the versions of Nine Inch Nails, Closer? I think just... You knew what kind of movie you get yourself into when you see that at the beginning. An interesting idea. A killer that kills people using the 7 deadly sentence. And not a happy ending. Not a happy ending. Definitely one of those... Definitely a shocking ending. Ah, nice. The original Fright Night. Very cool. I always enjoyed the original Fright Night. One of my all-time favorite vampire films. Rest in peace to Peter Vincent, the fearless vampire killer. Roddy McDowell. You got Chris Sarandon as your villain. You got William Radsdale as your lead. Very fun, old school, practical special effects. Brad Fiedel doing the score like he did for Terminator. He did the score for this. William Radsdale was relatable. Nice turn of taking Rear Window, but instead of a killer, it's a vampire that happens to be next door. And what do you do if someone's living, next door? What do you do? You could relate to, again, Charlie Brewster's demeanor, as in, what are you supposed to do if a vampire lives right next to you? What can you do? I mean, he tries to be a detective, his mom is oblivious, friends and girlfriend doesn't believe in him. And Ryan McDowell does a great job. I think he's just, him and William Radsdale made a good team. One of the reasons why I like Friday Night Part 2 as well. It has some fun, humorous moments as well that I won't give away for those who haven't seen it. And Chris Sarandon he's very sinister in his performance. Sorry, I was just listening to what he's saying, but do you like a bit of humor, like when Charlie's watching the movie that Roddy McDowell starred in, and it's such a low budget affair, and the movie within the movie that Roddy is holding the stake, but he's holding it the wrong direction, so the sharp is pointed towards him. Wow, Phantasm 2 is all the way at number 7. I mean, at least I like Phantasm 2. It is my favorite of the franchise. It's that era where a lot of Part 2s really try to amp up everything 80s style. Evil Dead 2, Aliens, Hellbound Hellraiser 2. That stuff where they amp up the action or amp up a little bit of the budget, amp up a little bit of the spectacle. It was nice to see Reggie Bannister get a bit more to do in the sequel. You're introduced to his unique shotgun. It was like 4 barrels that he uses. It's also unique because like the 2 main actors, they're not in any of the films before or since, because like the female lead, she gets killed off, whatever the hell you call it, in the next one, and then James LeGros is replaced with A. Michael Baldwin. And to be honest, I think James LeGros did a better job as the older version of that character than A. Michael Baldwin did. I thought Justin Whalen was a better older Andy Barclay than Alex Vincent was as an older. It's just one of those things where there's never an ending, and that gets annoying. Laute, fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, shame on you. So while I do like Phantasm 2, the fact that there's never... Well, that's the point. Well, that's a point I don't care for then. That there's never a clear ending. It always leaves room for a sequel. It always keeps going and going and never stops. Just not really into that. Nice choice for Child's Play 2. I was going back to which I like more, Child's Play 1 or 2. I think Alex Vincent was a better child actor than adult actor. And I think Alex Vincent does another good job here like he did in the first one. I think the effects on Chucky are improved. You get to see him really stalking and walking. You tell they had a bit of a bigger budget and a bit more finesse with the special effects that make Chucky seem more alive. The That's the thing, like Child's Play 1, I like the mom character and Chris Sarandon. That's very strong. While in here, I do like the stepsister, however you want to call her. I do like her. I think that the toy store finale is very memorable set piece in the entire franchise. It's hard, which I like more, Child's Play 1 or 2. Because, like I said, I like both. Child's Play 3, like I said, I do like as well. Nightmare on Elm Street. Cool to see it on the list. I mean, what more could be said about the original Nightmare on Elm Street? Brought Freddy Krueger to the game. The gang of hoodlums, of horror icons. Heather Langenkamp, got Johnny Depp, you got John Saxon. Wes Craven, may he rest in peace. Robert Englund playing a very sinister, scary, evil character of Freddy. The whole concept, if you die in your dreams, you die for real, and because it's a dream, you could be creative in what you could do. You could push an envelope of special effects that you can't do. Like in other slasher films, it's got killed with a beheading or a pitchfork or a knife, but with a dream, you could do really anything. Whether it be this person being from the wall to the ceiling without you seeing the attacker, Johnny Depp being pulled into the bed. Even the music and the design, 1, 2, Freddy's coming for you. Nice setup and backstory for your main villain. Creepy jingle that's carried the Freddy Krueger character throughout it. I mean, if you look at the poster, like, you don't really see Freddy Krueger's face in the poster. You see weird looking eyes and kind of the glove. And sometimes I wonder if that's even Heather Langenkamp in the poster. Just like, is that her? I guess that's her. Yeah. I'm like, okay, yeah, it is. I guess her. If Nancy doesn't wake up streaming, she won't wake up at all. And it became one of my favorite horror franchises. Oh, speaking of which, Elm Street 3, there you go. Dream Warriors. Dawkins' theme song is great. We're the Dream Warriors. The cast do a good job. Patricia Arquette, Ken Saros. Very creative kills. Your big break on TV. You have classic one-liners. My favorite is Elm Street 4, The Dream Master, directed by Rennie Harlan. I love the Lisa Wilcox character. I love the finale ending of that. I love her getting ready in front of the mirror. So that will always be my favorite, but Elm Street 3 is a close second favorite of the franchise. Always a cool poster, too. Like I said, being very creative with his nightmare sequences and showing that if you have the budget, the sky's the limit. The sky's the only limit when, like, you can do anything you want. Like, you have the kids having their own special powers, and then Freddy can really kill people in any way he wants. And Freddy having a personality and having jokes and having a sly smirk to his killings made him a worthwhile villain. That's one of the reasons why the numbers on them kept growing more and more and more. the door, like, what's going to be next for this character? I mean, if you think about, like, the cast of the first film kind of dealt the crappy hand, where John Saxon's just a drunk and then he gets thrown about and impaled and killed, like, kind of nothing. Heather Langenkamp, she does better, but, they still kill her off. The original Pet Cemetery. I do like the film. I say it would not be in my top 50. There's some strong parts to it. When the little kid gets run over and the father's reaction, I thought that was a very intense, emotional moment. I do like was it Jed? I liked his character. Sometimes dead is better. The ending was a bit weird, where it goes from this kind of dark, sinister ending to then, I wanna be buried in a pet cemetery. I'm like, that's kind of a weird shift in tone. The little girl kind of gets forgotten, as in she gets sent away, and then you never know, like, what happens when she comes back, what happens to her. People always talk about, like, that creepy sister, whatever the hell she was. To me, I didn't think he was as scary as people made out to be, and I thought it really didn't do anything in terms of the plot. I'm sure it was a bit bigger in the original story, but within the movie, it just, to me, it didn't really amount to anything. And even the guy on the poster who gets hurt, like, he warns the doctor, but it doesn't amount to anything. Like, nothing ever comes of it. He just keeps warning him, and he's like, you're crazy. I mean, you're a dead guy who's talking to me, but you're crazy. So it is like the dead zombie guy on the front amounts to really nothing, and because they took some aspects of the story, the novel, part of you doesn't even know why he's there warning the doctor. So I mean, it's not a film I love, but I don't mind the film. It's much better than the remake, or whatever the hell you want to call it. I thought the little kid Gage wasn't too bad. He was also the little kid that'd be in Kindergarten Cop. Because you got Tasha Yar there. But yeah, her, like, sister, whatever, that whole stuff, never gave a shit about that. Like, so many people hyped that up, even back in the day, and I watched it and went, whatever, she's goofy looking. Don't know if it's a guy, girl, whatever, don't care. I didn't. And I guess I just never really got scared of the film either. Let's see. So he's at number 2. Let's see what we got here. Number 2, The Lost Boys. Interesting. I keep using that word. I do like The Lost Boys. I mean, it's in my top 5 favorite vampire films. From Dusk Till Dawn is my number 1 favorite. And then Fright Night, number 2. Lost Boys, maybe number 3. Once again, shows that Joe Schumacher is not a bad director. I mean, yeah, Batman Forever is not that great. Batman and Robin is awful, but Joel Schumacher also did Falling Down. He also did Flatliners. He also did Phone Booth. He also did 8mm, and he also did The Lost Boys. The cast, you got Kiefer Sutherland and Corey Haim and Corey Feldman and it has a rocking soundtrack. People Are Strange. Yeah, sleep all day, party at night. Party all night. I mean, he was trying to be a hip vampire film at the time, and I think it worked rather well. And it still had some nice effect sequences in the third act of the movie. People being melted, or like the simple but effective look of what they did with the eyes and fangs of the vampires. Great to see Corey Haim in there. Rest in peace to Corey Haim. And number one, of course, The Thing. Yeah, I mean, I can't really disagree with that. Can't disagree with that at all. Love John Carpenter's The Thing. Love the paranoia. Love the cast. My favorite John Carpenter film. Some of the best effects of all time. Very creepy score by Ennio Morricone with a taste of John Carpenter in there. Sense of isolation and doom in Antarctica on that base. Can't complain. I mean, John Carpenter's The Thing is great. John Carpenter's The Thing is a classic. I know we're getting to like 3 minutes left, but I mean, I would say like stuff that would be on my list of top 50, that's tough. I know the 1990 Jacob's Ladder would be in there somewhere. I know George Romero's Dawn of the Dead would be in there somewhere. I know the Blob remake from 1988 would be in there. Alien and Aliens, Aliens looked at more sci-fi, and Aliens is looked at more of a action film, action sci-fi. So, I guess they're not really looked at as horror. So I guess I can't put those in there. I mean, Predator again is looked at as more action with the sci-fi. So I guess I can't put that in there. But I mean, if Jarder's the things looked at as sci-fi, but we call it horror, wouldn't Alien fall in the same category? Like, we look at sci-fi, but it's horror? That'd be a question. Like, why is it that we consider The Thing horror, even though it's science fiction, but we don't consider Alien? Because the thing about Alien is killing people one by one. It is kind of like a slasher film. It was probably why it was in one of those books I read long ago in a slasher movie book. And you have the bloody chest burster and all sorts of stuff trying to create horror, like tension and scares. It is trying to scare you. So again, wouldn't that be labeled horror? I don't know. If you classify The Thing as horror, would you classify Alien as horror? Maybe that's a question for people who actually do watch this. But yeah, pretty cool list as he's ending here. Pretty cool list. Nice to see some neat choices in there as we get to the last 40 seconds. But I mean, a lot of cool choices. I mean, to have Session 9, Friday the 13th, 2009 in there, The Hitcher, Child's Play 3, of course, The Shining, Frailty, stuff of that nature. The theme being number one, again, I cannot disagree with that at all. Fright Night, love the original Fright Night. Again, as to what would be my, that's tough. Like I said, I know the Blah remake would be in there. I know Jacob's Ladder, 1990 would be in there. Tremors I would put in there. For me personally, Leviathan is that's a fave of mine. Aliens I can see, that's action sci-fi. And Predator I could see action sci-fi. Although if someone put in horror, I wouldn't complain. But Alien I think could work as horror. And if that's the case, I would put in my top 50. My Beloved Valentine, 1981, I would put in there. I don't know, that's tough. Tough thing to do. So with that said, thanks for watching again. Take care, and we'll see you guys later.